welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Roof is closed here in Houston, Week 8. Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers on Halloween, and Sean McVay, still the youngest head coach in the NFL at age 35. And his first chance at being a head coach, David Culley on the other sideline for Houston, the rookie head coach, 30 years older than McVay. Texans won the toss and deferred. Buddy Howell is back to receive. It's the Texans and the Rams and the NFL on Fox. Well, let's do this. Through the end zone, out to the 25-yard line comes the Ram team on offense, and we head down to the field to Jennifer Hale.
Well, happy Halloween, Chris. I tell you what, the play of this O-line has been a real treat for the Rams. A league low 7 sacks coming into today. But a big part of that equation has been the health of the linemen. And today, Andrew Whitworth, the wily veteran, he is down. So swing tackle Joe Noteboom gets his first start of the season today. This coaching staff tells me they have a lot of confidence in him. He got 9 starts last season, and they think he's good to go to protect Matthew Stafford's blind side. We'll see.
Quick snap, Darrell Henderson cuts loose, and up to the 40-yard line. A first down on the first play from scrimmage. Came in averaging just over 4 a carry and picked up a chunk there.
This is impressive. I mean, for this offense, it's really all about the passing game. And if you're going to be able to come out and run the ball like that, Christian Kirksey, number 58, steps up inside. Darrell Henderson draws him into that spot and then bounces it back outside.
Yeah, Noteboom is the guy who had 9 starts last year, stepping in for the veteran Andrew Whitworth. Pick up a 15, spotted just below the 40. Stafford, quick drop, quick throw, catch made. It's Tyler Higbee. He's close to another first down. Incredible numbers for Matthew Stafford, and this is his 13th season, his first year with the Rams. In fact, the best 7-game start over his entire career.
Just playing at an extremely high level, good people around him. You heard Jen Hill talk about that offensive line and the protection, but he's really kind of elevated everybody's play around him. We talk about these elite quarterbacks in the NFL, the high tide guys, and Matthew Stafford showing it. He may need to be in that discussion with the impact he's made for this Rams team.
It is a first down after the 10-yard pickup. 2 big plays for the Rams. The chunk plays, that's Cooper Kupp in motion. Henderson the handoff, and he gets 5. And that offensive line, the Rams had started the same 5 offensive linemen, only Tampa Bay, the other team to do that all season long until today.
And I can't tell you how important that is. Let's go back to 17 and 18 when the Rams played extremely well. They had the entire offensive line together for 2 years. They lost Andrew Whitworth in 2017 late in the game, but he was a healthy scratch. That allows this offense, this unique offense that Sean McVay has, to function at a very high level.
Deshaun Jackson did not make the trip. Inactive for the Rams. Would like to be traded. More on that throughout the game. The trade deadline Tuesday. Second down 5. That's Woods. Robert Woods in motion. And Henderson trying to slip out of a tackle. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Christian Kirksey did a nice job. He's playing with a thumb injury. He leads the team in tackles. And up front, a couple of guys caught your attention for Houston on defense.
Yeah, I think when you look at these outside guys, Jonathan Grenard, Jacob Martin, and then Louis Collins inside. I remember him when he was with the Dallas Cowboys. They've got the pieces up place in that front to play the Lovie Smith style of defense. It's the back end. That's where the work is going to come in. They've got to improve there.
3rd and 5. There is Lovie Smith, former head coach, defensive wizard for the Texans. Pressure picked up. Stafford fires, falling forward right at the first down marker. That's Van Jefferson, who really supplanted Deshaun Jackson as the 3rd receiver. He did get enough. They gave him the forward progress on the catch, and it's another Ram first down.
And kind of a good sign right here. You can see it's going to be man-to-man coverage, and that's not something Lovie Smith wants to do a whole lot of. He wants his guys to have an opportunity to play a little bit more zone, have their eyes on the quarterback. But when you saw that front, you saw the pressure. If you're going to blitz, you've got to play man, so he'll be calculated in those situations.
Now, Desmond King, starting corner and punt returner, inactive. We believe it's a coach's decision for disciplinary reasons, so that affects an already thin secondary. Stafford, middle of the field, field wide open, but he couldn't connect with Robert Woods.
This is going to be a challenge for the Texans linebackers because the play action that the Rams are going to roll at him is really going to pull their linebackers up. And when you watch them on film, a lot of times they're already jumping in there. So watch this cell right here. He gets the linebacker to come up. That's play action pass. So look at that void that's right there. And Matthew Stafford just missed him.
Quick snap. Stafford. Catch made inside the 35. That's Cooper Kupp's first grab of the game. And boy, the numbers, historic numbers he is putting up with Stafford as his quarterback in the start to this season, leading in a number of categories. They go to the line without a huddle here on 3rd and short. Need a couple of yards to get to the 30 for a first down. Henderson as a receiver, bottom of your screen.
Hey, let's go scream here, scream!
Stafford drops back, middle of the field, open again. It's Kupp. First down around the 17, 18-yard line.
And one of the things is you know how good he is, so how is he getting open all the time? Watch how good he is on his release. Presses up, gets back inside, presses it up the field a little bit more, gets that separation away from the linebacker level.
Leads the NFL in catches and reception yards and touchdowns. Over 800 yards and 9 touchdowns in the first amount of games this year. It's an NFL high water mark. And that's saying a lot considering the receivers that have been out there this year like Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams that are having terrific seasons. For Kupp. Turns around and there's the football and it's 1st and goal Rams.
And this is just execution. And the scary thing about this, if you're going to be playing the Rams, these guys haven't been together too long. But watch how well this is timed up. Watch him come out of the break. Cooper Kupp comes out of the break. That ball is already thrown to the perfect spot. There's absolutely nothing Vernon Hargreaves can do to cover that pass. It's just the quarterback receiver in sync.
Quick snap. Darrell had the ball's knocked away. Grenard making the play as they tried to get that ball closer to the end zone. Big defensive play by Grenard, who has 6 sacks in the last 5 games, and he's playing well. He was in the linebacker role and when they were 3-4, but in a 4-3 defense under Lovie Smith, he has really excelled.
Yeah, he's kind of that prototype guy. You go back to the style of defense that Lovie Smith has had throughout his career. That's a prototype for that defensive end position.
Stafford fakes. Henderson wide open. Catch made. That's a touchdown, Rams. Opening drive. They wanted a fast start, and they got it.
This is one of those plays that's come into the NFL, and it's just gotten really, really hard for teams to cover this. It's play action fake, and then the running back is coming out into the flat, and so many times he gets lost. And again, it's releases, it's crosses. You know, Christian Kirksey's got to see that play developing in front of him and get his eyes in the right place so he doesn't have any collisions or run into his own guys, because that's what this offense does.
That beard going to get a little more gray if that continues this afternoon for Lovie Smith. The extra point is good. So second touchdown catch for Darrell Henderson. He has 4 rushing touchdowns. And Stafford, 20 touchdown passes already this season.
It is time for the final question. Who is offered the rod?
Darrell Henderson capping a picture-perfect opening drive for the Rams. 75 yards, nearly 5.5 minutes. And Stafford, I mentioned his 20th touchdown already. This is week 8. Last year, Ram quarterbacks for the entire season threw for 20 touchdown passes. Matt Gay ready to kick it off to Tremont Smith. Mentioned Desmond King inactive for the Texans, who had been a punt returner and kick returner. And there is a touchback. And they'll come out to the 25. Fox Super 6 wants you to stack the cash. The more people who enter the NFL Sunday Challenge contest, the higher the jackpot gets. Scan the QR code right now, play for free, and invite your friends and watch the cash pile up. Interesting trio there, ready to give money away. Davis Mills with Tyrod Taylor still out with the hamstring. He did practice this week, but not on the active list. And Deshaun Watson sits and waits for the Tuesday trade deadline. Or later, Jeff Driscoll is the backup. David Johnson carries as Mark Ingram, the leading rusher of the team, no longer there.
Yeah, interested to see how Davis Mills plays this afternoon. He's back home. This has been an area where it's been a big difference in how this Texans team has played and how he does here this afternoon against this defense for the Rams. When you talk about a guy like Aaron Donald up front and a guy like Jalen Ramsey on the back end, where are his eyes all the time? Does he worry about them a little bit too much, and does that impact his play negatively?
Philip Lindsay in at running back. He gets the carry and works his way up just short of the 35-yard line. And as we look at this offensive line, Justin Britt, the center on injured reserve. They've had tackles. Their starting tackles are hurt.
It's been hard. Laramie Tunsil, Marcus Cannon. I mean, when you have both tackles and your center out, it's hard for your skill players to really have success. So let's see what happens here this afternoon, because they've talked about running the football, and not just running the football, but running the football right at Aaron Donald. They said he will not be single blocked all afternoon.
A throw on 3rd and 1, and Mills delivers at the 40 for a first down. Brandon Cooks, the one-time Ram and leading receiver on the Texans, with a big gainer.
Nice job by Brandon Cooks right here. Going to just run a little stick route right there. It's not open, and then as his quarterback gets on the move, he just moves right with him and finds that soft spot.
And moving the pocket is something head coach David Culley said he wanted to do more of for his rookie quarterback.
Absolutely. Do not let Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd know where that launch point is going to be on a consistent basis. They will be back there all afternoon.
10-yard pickup. Lindsay straight ahead for a couple. Davis Mills, by the way, this is his 6th start. And he said this is the first defense where he had to worry about had 2 eyes on specific players, and that's because of Donald and Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, and maybe even 3, but the Kenny Young trade this week, sending him up to Denver because of financial reasons. I think that's going to be something we keep our eye on with Troy Reeder and Ernest Jones in the lineup today. When you watch the Rams defensive film, Kenny Young jumps out at you. He's a run and hit linebacker, great in space. How do they fix that issue with him not on the roster anymore?
2nd down, 8. Here comes a flag against the Texans.
Start. Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Our referee is Clay Martin. That's on Charlie Heck. One of the most penalized teams, and the coach talked about that. That's something the coaches can enforce with the players. 3rd most penalized team in the league.
And you can see the frustration on David Culley's face right there, because you work on it. You've talked to your guys about it all season long, and they continue to struggle with their penalties. Pre-snaps are they're unacceptable.
You sound like a coach. So
I've been yelled at by coaches, I know.
You played the game for a lot of years successfully as Lindsay staggers and is knocked down at the 42. Troy Reeder making the play as another flag down.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And here you go. You're not talented enough yet at this stage of the rebuild to be able to overcome these situations. And that's why they find themselves in the position they're in at 1-6, when you're continually committing penalties and putting your offense in tough spots to convert and continue drives.
And it takes you out of, they wanted to pound the ball and run the ball. That's an area they thought that they could have some success against this strong Ram defense. They give up over 110 per game on the ground. But when you're in the hole, 2nd and 23, the Rams are almost inviting you to run and run the clock until they get the ball back. Mills trying to set up a screen, and from behind, brought down as he crossed the 35-yard line, tight end Jordan Akins. Farrell Brown is inactive, had a thigh injury. So it'll be Akins followed by Anthony Auclair, and then Brevin Jordan, the rookie from Miami, is active for his first game for the Texans.
And that's a good job by the Rams defense right there. That's something that Detroit did to them last week. They really hit them with the screens and the draws, and so you've got your alert up in that 2nd and long situation. Really nice retrace there by Michael Hoyt in that defensive line.
Rex Burkhead in at running back from the pocket. Catch made. Chris Moore short of the first down across the 45-yard line of Houston. It's 4th down.
Yeah, so you're your penalties put you in an awkward situation. Is Houston at the stage where they can convert 2nd and 23s at times? No, they're working their way towards that. So what do? You've got to play a conservative field position style of game right now. So let's get some positive yards. Let's see if we can get our punt team out there and get Cameron Johnson to bury this ball down inside the 10-yard line.
And Cooper Kupp is back to return the punt. Tutu Atwell had been doing some of that. Rams looking for a little more splash on special teams. Cameron Johnston gets it away and waving everybody away as Kupp it goes out of bounds. Rams back on offense for the second time. Drove down the field with a touchdown. More of Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford here in Houston when the NFL on Fox continues.
Mobile clothing consumption has doubled.
Hey, how are you? He's excited. Can't wait to get out and get that candy. In the meantime, enjoying a little Rams-Texans football. Good thing he's not sitting with that crowd. Stay next to mom and dad. From the 25, Darrell Henderson, who has the touchdown, catches the back. He gets the carry and dancing with another first down. Still going up across the 40. His 5th touch of the game. That's his 4th rush and a catch for the score, and he's on a roll.
Yeah, and they're really getting Christian Kirksey kind of sticking his nose up a little bit too quick, gets caught on the inside. You allow the center to reach you, and now it's your running back into the 2nd level very quickly. Tough duty for Christian Kirksey today. You can see he's playing with that big club on his hand. Going to be hard for him to get off blockers, and you wonder if at some point they make a decision to maybe bring somebody else in there.
Anderson 3rd in the NFC in rushing, looking for his first 100-yard rush game of the year after a pickup of 16. Stafford for the tight end. Higbee eventually out of bounds.
Well, this drive's starting out just like the last one did, Chris. And watch where Cooper Kupp's lined up. Right there he is tight inside. He's running. It's a run play. He's blocking for you. Down tight inside again. Now it's a pass play action. So a lot of his alignments help him get those throws to him. And then you get Darrell Henderson involved in this game early for the Rams.
Stafford from the pocket, well protected, and right there at the 40, delivering to Van Jefferson. 2nd-year player from Florida. Yeah, Cooper Kupp was telling me he enjoys blocking just as much as catching the football, and it makes it tough on defenses. You'd think it'd be easier when he's inside, right, to try to cover him or double him, but then when he's a great blocker, he almost serves as a tight end in that spot.
Yeah, the linebackers, the secondary players have to respect what he's going to do, and it's one of the things that Bruce Arians and his offense did a great job with Hines Ward, Larry Fitzgerald. They have that dual role, and it opens up their opportunities to get catches.
That's an inside handoff. Robert Woods knocked down. You know, Camus Grugier-Hill, player who played the most snaps last week in special teams, making the tackle. And these are the numbers on Cooper Kupp. And even though defenses know what he's all about and where he moves around a lot, he just seems to get open.
That's when you know you're good. When the opponent knows that they have to take you out of the game and you can still put up numbers like Cooper Kupp is putting up.
Larry Fitzgerald, a guy he models his game after, especially after the catch, the run, still working on certain improvements in his game that we'll talk about throughout the game. Henderson has running room. Darrell Henderson down near the Houston 30. You know, last week the Lions were thinking upset, the winless Lions. The Rams were able to late pull that victory out. Their defense sealed it a year ago. Last season they lost to the winless Jets, and I asked Sean McVay about, hey, you're expected to win, you're the favorite team. He said, the difference this year is we're mentally tougher.
Yeah, you wonder if they would have won that game against Detroit last year to hang in there. His defense, you know, making the adjustments. Offensively, they didn't get a lot of possessions, but in that first half when the Lions were stealing possessions, the 3 times they had the football, they scored points.
3rd and short. Henderson easily the first down, and down the sideline he goes. Out of bounds, spotted around the 12 of the Texans. What a game Henderson is having in just this opening quarter.
Well, I don't know what the defense is doing with their run support. I mean, right here, one of these two guys has got to have the outside. They both collapse down inside. Terrence Mitchell, I would think it would be him up being closer. You know, you've got to get outside, turn Darrell Henderson back inside to your teammates. They left that edge wide open.
19-yard run. He's averaging over 10 yards a carry. Van Jefferson in motion. Fake to Henderson and incomplete to Woods. An awkward looking play.
Yeah, credit the Houston Texans defense on that one. That was good recognition by the formation of what could potentially be coming, and they had that screen smelled out pretty quick.
Second down 10, just over a minute this opening quarter. Second possession for the Rams. Trying to produce points. Stafford fakes, floats short. The coverage was pretty good back there. Couldn't get it to Cup. He wasn't open. Terrence Mitchell on the coverage for Houston, and it's going to be a 3rd and 10.
That's the most important thing with this defense, Chris, is having the ability of your down 4 to get pressure on the quarterback. They didn't allow Matthew Stafford to stand in that pocket. You've got 7 guys dropped into zone. They did a nice job of recognizing the receivers coming into those areas and picking them up and covering them.
Nobody better this year on 3rd and long than the Rams. And they're pretty good in the red zone, too. Texans defense has improved in that area. Stafford has some time and open inside the 5. Cooper Kupp hauls in another one, but you see short of the first down. And now the Rams look like they're going to line up and go for it here. Going to need about a yard. Maybe 2.
And no hesitation there by Sean McVay.
You see the numbers on 4th down, and McVay talked to us about that. That was one of his important 5 stats. When I said if you do look at stats, it was down the list, but 3rd and 4th down conversions after points, turnovers, yards per play. Knocked away on 4th down and incomplete. Henderson was the target. Looked like the same play they got the touchdown on. But Grugier Hill made sure he didn't get it this time.
This is a great job by Camus Grugier-Hill because he's still kind of inside with the defense. You can see he's a little bit late getting there. That defense was late getting set. You can see right there as he's moving out, that ball is already snapped. So Darrell Henderson's got him outflanked right from the get-go.
A casual going for it. Looked like Stafford had a little time maybe to do something more or try to run for that. And you see him frustrated, but let's give the Texans defense, Lovie Smith, for making an adjustment after that opening drive. Even though the Rams marched downfield, the biggest thing is don't let him in the end zone. Johnson on 1st down. That should end the opening quarter. Johnson, by the way, came over with a draft pick that ended up being Ross Blacklock, who's not necessarily a starter in the DeAndre Hopkins deal. That started the mass exodus of talented Texans who won a playoff game and division title. Here they're trying to end a 6-game slide and hang it in there with the Rams and the fans. It's 7-0 LA as we head to the 2nd quarter here on Halloween. Back at Energy Stadium. There's a reason he's upset. It's not just a Halloween costume. Texans trying to snap out of a 6-game slide, facing a 2nd down, but their defense did its job, backed up at their own 4-yard line. Those are the first quarter numbers. Bills catch made. The ball comes out and he goes out of bounds. Danny Amendola back after injury.
How about Jalen Ramsey? I mean, that's outstanding. I mean, we talk about him as a cover guy, but he's fighting through the block of a big tight end and gets up and punches the ball out. Watch number 5 come in here. He's working against Anthony Auclair, a big tight end, keeps his outside leverage and actually able to knock that ball away from Danny Amendola.
Ramsey, and you talk about a star position. Raheem Morris, defensive coordinator, his first year with the Rams, moves him around. Yeah, he's a great cover guy and can shut down receivers, but they move him around all over the place, just like Aaron Donald, too, on the defensive line. And without Sebastian Joseph Day, injured today, a screen set up. Brevin Jordan, the rookie tight end, looks like he's short of the first down. Again, his first game in the NFL regular season game, the 5th rounder from Miami. Ernest Jones making the tackle, and that's the Ram rookie linebacker from South Carolina taking the spot of Kenny Young. Hope Ramsey's okay. Limping a little bit, but he's heading over to the sideline on a 4th down. So the punting unit is out. Looks like his shoe came off. That's what he's carrying. I thought maybe that was Halloween candy or something.
Yeah, Brevin Jordan, as he gets a little bit more experience, he'll sell that screen a little bit longer, was a little bit quick on his release. If you hold that a little bit more, you got a chance to get that 1st down. Just coming up a little bit short.
And Cooper cut back again, waving for the fair catch at the 35-yard line. Look at downtown Houston. They're worried about the Texans and their Astros. Luigi and Super Mario. Super Mario drinking a cold one. I hadn't seen that.
That is a heated conversation between Luigi and Super Mario. There we go. Now we're back. Now we're smiling.
Focusing on the game and having a good time. You're never too old to put on a costume and have a good time on Halloween. After a 52-yard punt, Sony Michel is in at running back. Henderson has been busy. Pass is complete to Michel. 2 Texans bring him down at the 37, and a happy Halloween. Time for a game break. Carissa Thompson, how you doing?
Happy Halloween, Chris. Big AFC South matchup here. Following a Ryan Tannehill interception, Carson Wentz finds Michael Pittman for this 7-yard score, his 2nd of the day already. Colts up 14-0. We will see the Colts and the Jets on Thursday Night Football. Chris?
Actually, we'll be tuning in for that. It's a great Thursday night game and finish with the Cardinals and Packers on Fox and the NFL Network last Thursday. Plenty of time, and Michel out of the backfield with plenty of room. Fights to the 49 of the Rams and another LA 1st down.
Yeah, checking it down right here, but wow. I'm looking down the field, and I don't want you to see these guys. These guys are stressing this right here, and they are open down the field. And they're going to check it back. That you put pressure on those 2 safeties into the middle of the field, but it's just a little check down. Nice job by Lonnie Johnson kind of coming back and helping him. Maybe that's what Matthew Stafford saw down on the field.
He had all day, a lot of patience, and he can handle that. He'd rather throw it deep with those receivers, but he'll take what's available. Pickup of 11. Pressure on, and he got it away, but Robert Woods couldn't haul it in.
And I think that's one of those situations you saw right there. This is what Davis Mills will become at some point. If he gets an opportunity to continue to play, to have the trust to make the decisions that Matthew Stafford, right? Hey, we got guys going down the middle of the field, but is that an opportunity for an interception by that backside safety? Let me just check it down to Sony Michel and get 11 yards.
Well, Sean McVay, he told us that Matthew Stafford's the smartest player he's ever been around. And that's saying a lot.
Absolutely. And as smart as a football mind that Sean McVay has, that's a huge compliment.
Said he was a problem solver, which is a lot in the midst of a play. Here it's an easy throw and catch, wide open in the middle of the field. It's Woods inside the 25, picking up another 6 or 7 yards after the grab. And Stafford well over 100 yards throwing with a touchdown and trying to get more.
Robert Woods coming from the outside, number 2. Watch the timing on this throw again. As soon as he makes that break, it's right on him, and he has the opportunity to run with the football after the catch.
And quickly to the line, and here comes a flag. It's something the Rams do very well. A couple of other teams I've seen, the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, do that. After a big play, they get to the line in a hurry and try to snap. It has nothing to do with replay or anything. It's like, let's just catch the defense before they can either set up or substitute.
That's Matthew Stafford's thing, right? We want to put pressure on that defense every single snap of the game. He wants to score points on every single possession of the game, and that's where you get that meticulous nature and why this offense is really taking a lead.
Zone infraction. Defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
DeMarcus Walker called for the infraction, and that was created by the Rams in their hustle, just what you were saying. Stress the defense. Spotted inside the 19 of Houston. Cooper Kupp lines up inside. It's Higbee, the tight end, who lines up next to Cooper. Michel is the back. Sony Michel knocked down around the 15-yard line. Well, I asked McVay, I was trying to get a number because as a fan, you love this. How many offensive plays? You're a creative. You write them down on napkins. You think about them in the middle of the night. You're kind of a freak that way. He said, I'll say 150, but ask the guys. They may say more. 200 is the count I came up with talking to Kevin O'Connell, the offensive coordinator, and Stafford.
Yeah, a little bump when we went to Matthew. Oh, no, it's probably a little bit more than 150, but I'm not sure where we are. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell today. No, it's up around 200.
And about half of those are carryovers. They just add on to it. But 200 plays to have in your head, to know when to use them, when to call them. Pretty impressive. On a 2nd and 3. Michelle is right to the line that it looks like he may have it. He had 2 men on him. Just kind of fell forward, and he's...
Tackling, right? We talked about it at the top. I mean, this game, they've got 200 plays. It's going to sound really nice. If you talk to Sean McVay, you're going to hear some really cool sounding plays. We talk about West Coast offenses and zone blitz defenses, but really it's blocking and tackling. And boy, the Houston Texans defense has struggled mightily. And there's a great example right there. You've got them stopped short of the first down. Let them carry your guys for 2 more yards in the first.
On a big 3rd down play. Now it's a fresh set of downs for the Rams. Michelle gets inside the 10-yard line. Yeah, the first drive, the Rams went 75 yards, got the touchdown. Second time they touched the ball, 72 yards, but they failed on a 4th and short. Nice pass breakup by the Texan defense, and here they are marching again.
Yeah, the only one that stopped them so far today is themselves. That little miss on the 4th down when they had an opportunity to outflank the Texans defense and didn't take advantage of it.
Stafford may be thinking of Cooper Kupp in his mind. Funny how you read that. Plenty of time. Catch made. Should be enough to have a 1st and goal for the Rams. Robert Woods hauled that in, but they're saying, did he hang on going to the ground? Or was it taken away?
It's an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Take a closer look, you tell me.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's the catch. No, there it is, out right there. That's an easy one. Yep.
Not a fumble.
No. Didn't have the element of time, right? And really, maybe didn't even really secure that with the hands. So did he even really have the catch to start with, the 2 hands on it?
Officials right on the call, and now it's a 3rd and 6. There's some of those 200 plays we were talking about. David Culley going to rely on his defense. Can they get a big 3rd down stop? Errol Henderson is back in. Crowd getting into it. Stafford high in the end zone and incomplete. He overthrew Cooper Kupp, and he knew it. Well, there wasn't a whole lot of room there. That was a tough throw.
Yeah, but you can see Matthew Stafford. He'll be walking off the field. He's not going to be happy because watch this. It's going to sail a little bit right here. And that's one of the things we've seen over the last couple of weeks here. And Sean McVay said that game last week against the Lions, he thought it was Matthew Stafford's best game, his best complete game. There's been other times this season where he's real streaky. He'll get on a 6 consecutive, 8 consecutive, 10 consecutive, but a little bit of spotty right there and a little bit of a sail on that one when he had Kupp open.
Matt Gay from 27 yards away on a 4th and 6. Too much for the Rams to go for it this time on 4th down. They settle for 3, but chew up the clock and add to their lead. That is not Phil, but is he related to Rob Havenstein of the Rams? I just wonder. The dude. I love the creativity of costumes.
That was a buy one, get one free opportunity right there.
Got a number of guys from Texas. Eric Norberg, Jeff Wallace, Jim Haynes from the Boston area. Kyle Collins, our technical director, all part of our crew. That's a touchback out to the 25. Carissa has a game break for us.
I do. So the Niners dropped the last 4. Bears dropped the last 2. Trying to get back on track here. Justin Fields rolls out, finds Jesse James for this 8-yard score. Bears up 10-3. And Myers, what would your costume be?
I was, this won't surprise you, a court jester was one
Shocker.
of the... Yes, what a shock, right? Actually, the Tin Man.
No, Halloween. What do you dress as on Halloween?
I'll do the jokes. You do the analyst stuff, all right? Whatever that means. By the way, the NFC West is Rams, Arizona separating from the pack with Seattle and San Francisco having quarterback issues, among other issues. Scotty Phillips on the carry. And maybe a yard, Jen.
Chris, earlier in the game, you mentioned Tyrod Taylor returned to practice this Wednesday. It went so well, Tyrod felt like he was ready to start today. He was advocating for it. They did some tests on that hamstring, and the medical and coaching staff decided, not quite yet. Let's rather be safe rather than sorry. So they decided to delay it a little bit longer, but hopes are high that he could return for this Texans squad next week in Miami. We'll find out.
In the meantime, they continue to get a look at Davis Mills, third-round draft pick from Stanford, who is incomplete. He doesn't have a lot of starting experience even from his college days.
No, he doesn't, and that's going to be the big challenge right here. And listen, you go back to the beginning of the season, they beat Jacksonville. It's 14-14 at halftime when Tyrod Taylor comes out of that lineup. And since that time, they've really struggled, and that's because Davis Mills has got to go through this process. He doesn't have a lot of starts. He hasn't seen a lot of defense, especially here at the NFL level. Very different than the collegiate game. He has to build that catalog moving forward.
Facing a 3rd and 10. He has a moment on the move. He's going to have to throw, and it's intercepted. Ernest Jones, the rookie linebacker who replaced Kenny Young, returns it back inside the 12 of Houston.
The one thing that David Culley preaches, the one thing that everybody is going to talk to, whether it's offensive coordinator Tim Kelly, you have to be responsible. You have to protect the football. And sometimes you have to realize how good of an athlete these guys are on the field. He thinks he can get that over the top. Ernest Jones is right there. He's right in front of him. Not sure what he saw. I don't know if it got a little flat on him, but you could see the tight space that he was trying to fit that in.
Yeah, Chris Shula, the linebacker coach, yes, related to the great Don Shula, telling us before the game that Ernest Jones has great length and range ability. He showed there, getting in position and then reaching up for the takeaway. 19-yard return. Darrell Henderson rolls down to about the 7 or 8 yard line. We'll check the spot. Rams get it right back on the takeaway.
Yeah, this is just real hard for Christian Kirksey, and you wonder if that is some of the reason why we're seeing a little bit more run game here from the Rams. Hey, if you want to play that middle linebacker with a club on his hand, it's going to be hard for him to shed blocks. It's going to be hard for him to make tackles. We're going to run right at him.
From the 6-yard line, Henderson near a first down. Looks like he's a little bit short.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love the passion for the game. I love the effort of Christian Kirksey being out there. But that's a lot to ask. I know how important he is from the athletic standpoint and him controlling that defense. But boy, this is going to be tough for him playing literally one-handed out there.
Yeah, and you don't think the Rams are aware of that in terms of going at him? 3rd and a yard. Rams have been down here every time they've gotten possession of the football. A touchdown, a field goal, and a stop on 4th. Henderson will be stopped again. Malik Collins with another outstanding defensive play for the Texans.
Yeah, really nice move by Malik Collins right here. Watch, he's going to go inside first and then come back to the outside. Really nice job getting around that block right there, making a play in the backfield, beating David Edwards very quickly.
4th and 3, and the Rams are going for it with a 10-0 advantage.
This would be a huge stop for this Texans defense right here.
Threatening blitz. Where's Cooper Kupp? Fake the run. End zone throw. Nearly intercepted, but it's a stop for the Texans. There's a flag down on the back end of the play. Jefferson was the target, and Vernon Hargreaves was covering. They're discussing a possible hold, it looks like, with Hargreaves.
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense, number 26. Penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
So he's on the backside. He's playing man-to-man. You've got the bunch on the front side. Let's see what happens when he breaks inside. That should be where the question comes. Wow, that is a little ticky-tack for me. There's no jersey in the hand. There's none of those things you really look for in that defensive holding. I'd have let that one go if I was one of the officials.
So it's a 4th down stop because of the penalty. It's not, and now it's 1st and goal. Stafford, end zone, touchdown Rams. Robert Woods threading the needle. Stafford to the former USC star.
It's kind of like the old Oakland Raider theory, right? The Oakland Raiders are one of the most penalized teams in the league year after year. You'd see penalty called on the Oakland Raiders when you're trying to find out what was going on. And I think that's the situation Houston is in right now. There's so many penalties being called on them that if it's close, it's probably going to be called. And there's a great job right there by Robert Woods finding that soft spot for the touchdown.
Unfortunate for the Texans, who thought they had a stop. Matt Gay's extra point will make it 17-0. Texans have made them work for it. A ticky-tack call on Hargraves gives the... Oh, this Ram offense is scary. 17-0. Ready to kick off to the Texans, who have not done much offensively. Their defense getting worn down. They've hung in there, thought they had a stop. Hargraves on a 4th down throw. Rams cash in. And another touchback. Let's bring in Mike Pereira, because, Daryl, you thought it should not have been called. Mike Pereira watches this closely, our rules analyst back in Los Angeles. And, Mike, good to see you as always. What did you think?
Well, I'm in Daryl's camp here. You know, you look and see, okay, I can't really see what the left hand does. You want to see Hargraves with his left hand has maybe some grab at the front, but there's no restriction. There's no hesitation. To me, this is not one you want to call in the NFL.
Yeah, it's so hard for the Texans, right, Mike? You're playing, it could be 21-0. You make a great play, you know, down in the red zone, and it gets taken away from you. They score a touchdown on the next play.
Davis Mills open. Catch made. Nico Collins. A big gainer, best offensive play for the Texans today as they cross midfield for the first time. A gain of 26 yards.
Yeah, and one of the things that you'll watch from Davis Mills when he's in the pocket, he's standing there, he's scanning the field. You know, he's got that courage in the pocket that a lot of people look for. And this is a nice throw to Nico Collins, a guy that's starting to step up and make some plays, made some moves to move back into the 3rd round to go draft him, threw up some capital to get him on the squad.
Rookie from Michigan. Best game for Mills. This is 6th start, week 5 with the Patriots, which was here. Looks like an option, and instead of throwing it back, Rex Burkhead just keeps and plays it safe. And another game break. Carissa, what do you have?
Well, Chris, the #1 seed in the AFC, the Bengals, you heard me, trailing 7-0 to the Jets, but not for long. Joe Burrow hands it off to Joe Mixon, who takes it in from 1 yard out. We are all tied up at 7. Chris?
All right, thanks. Yeah, the Jets with the rookie last week, Zach Wilson, injured at quarterback. That game is tied. So are the Steelers and the Browns. And so are the Bills and the Dolphins. Down in Miami is where the Texans play next. The winless Lions are losing 10-0 to the Eagles. After no gain, blitz is on and caught but knocked down right away is Jordan Akins. And Jalen Ramsey all over the place.
Yeah, we just may have to take that star position out and get something else for it. It's more than that. I mean, it's amazing to watch, you know, what Raheem Morris will ask him to do, but what he can do and what he excels at. I mean, one of the best tackling corners in the NFL today. I mean, I mean, not just getting people to the ground, but I mean, physically manhandling some guys.
Second on the team, second on the Rams in tackles. On a 3rd and 10. And he's going to go down. The Rams get a sack. As Mills stepped up in the pocket, and it all collapsed around him. Looked like Greg Gaines was part of the group, and again, he's playing because of the pec injury to Sebastian Joseph Day. Donald part of that as well.
Yeah, you've got some movement inside. There's Terrell Lewis coming all the way on the loop from the inside. There's Jalen Ramsey coming over the top on the blitz. One of the things that this line has struggled with is movement from the defensive front. And when you lose both your starting offensive tackles and your center, that's going to be the case, unfortunately, for the Texans.
So Cooper Kupp had been returning punts, but Tutu Atwell, who has done that much of the year, is back in. Fair catch. And The punt drives him down to the turf. There's a flag down back at the 42 of the Texans.
Holding. Offense, number 43. Los Angeles has elected to have the 10-yard penalty enforced at the previous spot. We'll replay 4th down.
Neville Hewitt called for the infraction. More penalties for the Texans. Just over 4 minutes before halftime here. So Atwell will get another opportunity. The second-round pick from Louisville. And I know that Sean McVay told us he'd like a little more out of his special teams. Take a few more chances. Be a little more aggressive.
But it's hard for what they're doing right now with their special teams because, I mean, you've got a roster that's really kind of weighted heavily, at certain positions. And that kind of takes out a lot of those guys that play on special teams for you. So it's really kind of a challenge for them to have that success. Going to scale down what they're doing from that point. Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coach, a little bit of a challenge for him through the course of the season.
And here's Atwell. And they get some yardage out of that. Just across the 20-yard line. The Rams are back on offense. Stafford, a couple of touchdown passes already in this game.
Savings for the win.
Here in Houston, Jalen Ramsey holding his left hand coming off after that last series. And we will check on his health and availability. It's been all over the place, as we pointed out here in the first half. At the very least, an update at the half from Sean McVay. Jen Hale will check on that. Darrell Henderson the back after a 48-yard punt and a 2-yard return from the Ram 21. Stafford sets it up to Tyler Higbee. Got some blocks and a first down across the 30. Well, last night, back-to-back home runs. The Braves a 3-2 win and a 3-1 series lead in the World Series. Tonight they're going to go for their first World Series championship since 1995. The Astros hoping to bounce back and bring the series back here to Houston at Minute Maid. Game 5 starts tonight following football. After Fox on the Fox Sports app, there's our trucks back in Houston waiting for him. If you listen closely, you can hear the producer of our baseball coverage just kind of yelling, hollering about something, that passion that he brings.
Fury.
11-yard gain to the 32. Pitch to Henderson. He's had quite a first half, but he can't break through. Good gain up to the 35-yard line. Rouge Hill, who's been active for the Texans on defense, making that play.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he's a good sideline-to-sideline guy. You can see why he's so good on special teams for the Houston Texans. Very good in space, making tackles.
Rams 4 possessions, 4 trips into the red zone. Touchdown, loss on downs. Obviously, field goal, and then the touchdown after that controversial penalty.
Let's go, boom! Hey, boom! Flush! Boom! Flush! Boom!
Stafford wants to go deep, but he's got Cooper Kupp midfield, and he's off and running. That acceleration that he talked about, shedding tacklers all the way inside the 15 of the Texans. 5th catch of the game for Cooper Kupp, and 50-plus yards on the connection.
Yeah, again, you're getting a big bite by the linebacker level on the play fake, and that's what gives Cooper Kupp the opportunity to get over top. Christian Kirksey having a tough time finding him in space.
2-minute warning. Rams with the football and the lead.
"90 years in the game.
And counting.
This is...
Verizon halftime coming up. All the highlights. Check on that 49er game. They're losing to the Bears. Darrell Henderson the back after the big gainer of 52 yards on the throw to Cooper Kupp and his run. Here's a run from Henderson. And Swarm knocked out around the 6.5-yard line. Let's check in for another game break with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. Eagles up 10-0 in Detroit. Jalen Hurts hands it off to Jordan Howard, who scores from 4 yards out. Eagles up 17-0 on the road. Chris?
Only winless team, the Lions. having trouble at home. Also an update and highlights on the Bengals-Jets game and the Steelers-Browns. Very important matchup. It's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Rams want to take this to the half. They'll be kicking off to start the second half to Houston. Quick pass, caught. Robert Woods spins, but a second Texan is over there to keep him from getting into the end zone. But he got enough for the first down.
Yeah, you got to get people rallied to the point of the tackle, because again, we're seeing it from this Houston Texans defense. They're struggling tackling, and there's a lot of yards, there's a lot of hidden yards, extra yards after these missed tackles. So good job by Eric Murray getting over there and helping out his teammate, making sure that thing is secured.
Nearing the 200-yard passing mark, Stafford with 2 touchdowns. Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers here in Houston. Frustration for Lovie Smith's defense. On a 1st and goal, Stafford looking. He wanted Higbee. And incomplete. Back of the end zone, Van Jefferson. It'll be 2nd and goal. The Rams had scored at least 20 points in all 7 games. But they lost week 4 to the Cardinals, 37-20.
Who's the other team that scored 20 every game this year? Would that be Dallas?
I'm guessing Dallas.
Right, okay.
I was going to say
you mentioned Tampa Bay earlier when it was only 1 and 2.
Well, by the way, the Rams are the only team to beat Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers going all the way back to their.
My emphasis was on Dallas.
Super Bowl run. Oh, I should have guessed that. You're still dressed as a cowboy. Darrell Henderson into the end zone, and that's a Ram touchdown. He's caught one, and he runs one in.
This has been the impressive thing to me in the first half is how efficient the Rams have been running the football. That has kind of allowed them to do everything else that they want to do. You've got all your personnel to the right. You run into the weak side. Really nice double team. That's stealing. I mean, you just walked in. This is going to be a tough locker room to be in at halftime for the Houston Texans, because right now they've run into a buzzsaw here after what happened to the Rams versus the Lions last week.
The extra point makes it 24-0. 80 yards rushing for Darrell Henderson. Touchdown on the ground. It has a catch for a touchdown, and the Rams are piling it on here in Houston. That's how good it's gone for Sean McVay and the plays he's dialing up, and the way his offense, led by Stafford and Darrell Henderson and Cooper Kupp, has executed here in Houston.
Yeah. Texans defense has not stopped the Rams. The only time they were held without points was because of themselves.
And bringing it out is Tremont Smith. 5 yards deep in his own end zone, and against the Rams special teams, he ran into Matt Gay, the kicker, as he crossed the 35-yard line. What a return. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Hocus pocus. Let the Verizon halftime come into focus. Will the Steelers cast out the Browns? Will the Bills leave the Dolphins spellbound? And will the Colts beat the Titans with a hex? We're casting spells of the Verizon halftime. Coming up next.
I thought Terry was going to be in the cauldron. I was waiting for him to pop out.
Have him pop out with his money to give away. In trouble and tossing it out of bounds. Well, we love this stat. Sean McVay, when I brought it up to him when we talked this week, was like, I didn't even know about that until you guys showed it last year at halftime. And not that I'm superstitious. We know all you athletes and coaches are, but I just, I don't like hearing about that. 42-0, that includes a couple of postseason games when leading at the half. That is impressive. Second longest win streak all time. And of course, he's the one coach who has that going with this Rams team.
Absolutely. I mean, that is very impressive that you never let your team get into that second half and have that letdown. To be able to do that over the course of 42 consecutive games, pretty impressive feat.
And counting. Across midfield is Jordan Akins, and a timeout for Houston. They have not been inside the 30 of the Rams. The offense has not been a threat.
Houston, their first 30-second timeout.
And now this from Progressive.
Progressive presents At Home with Baker Mayfield.
Trick or treat!
Can you hold this for a second? There you go. Some for you. Some for you. Ho ho ho! Who likes nachos? And one for Mr. Cowboy. Happy Halloween. Enjoy.
Thanks.
Golly, they just get cuter and cuter every year.
Texans trying to dent the scoreboard. Jalen Ramsey is back out there. His hand checked on. Extra pressure. Floated in the air. And did he hang on? Dante Dion. They're celebrating as if he had the interception. The officials are checking his feet. He held on to the football. And I think Davis Mills was just trying to throw that away.
Yeah, but how about the effort by Dante Dion compared to the effort by Brandon Cooks?
Defense.
Well, it won't matter.
5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And that's the first penalty against the Rams. It's on the rookie linebacker, Ernest Jones. That's away from the ball. Rams, least penalized team in the NFL coming in. Texans have had their share.
Right here, coming into the play, illegal hands to the face. Oh, yeah, you can see right there. Took the helmet off. But here's the big thing on the outside. I don't know if Brandon Cooks can make a play to get a hand to deflect that.
But that looks good.
But he became a spectator.
That's a clean.
And that is a heck of a play by Dante Dion. That was going to be a pick.
They might consider him, at receiver. Meanwhile, there's Jones.
Houston, they're second. 30-second timeout.
And with the timeout, Rams 24-0. Just 5 seconds remain in the half. And again, I wish you a happy Halloween. If you're a Rams fan, you're enjoying it. And we got, scary, the Spider and the Ram offense. In fact, this entire Ram team, I mentioned they're the only one to beat the Buccaneers, defending Super Bowl champs. And I know who they're playing. We talked about maybe a mismatch coming in, but they look like they're in the right kind of form to make another Super Bowl run, not only postseason run.
Well, the big thing is that they followed the instructions of their head coach. You know, that's not going to happen this week. What happened last week against Detroit, we're not going to allow that. It's all about what happens here during this 3-hour window. They've come out. He challenged them from start to finish to play well in all three phases. They've done exactly that here in the first half.
Yeah, and this is the softer part of the Rams schedule because later in the year things are going to get a little tougher. They'll play the Titans, Arizona. They have a game at Green Bay. And timeout Rams. I'm not exactly sure. We'll show you early. Usually we save this for later in the game, but since we're talking about it, obviously the 49ers going through some issues to buy, but then Green Bay, you'll see that on Fox. But after those next 5, it got at Arizona. The Seahawks. Will Russell Wilson return? Their only loss to Arizona, and of course the Cardinals lost Thursday to the Packers on a dramatic finish. Seahawks will play later today at home against Jacksonville with Geno Smith at quarterback. And the Bears lead the 49ers 13-6. More on that coming up at the half. Open and inside the 30, but is there time? Did they call time? That's Nico Collins with his second catch. And they might be able to try a field goal here.
I tell you what, that is really impressive. There was 5 seconds left on the clock there, and this is down the field a ways. So that is executed quickly, get down, call the timeout. Nice job by Nico Collins. Nice throw by Davis Mills. That is something to build on to end this first half right here, because when they're doing it, I'm like, 6 seconds was kind of our safety net. So for that to be executed and still allow the opportunity for the field goal.
Former UCLA kicker Kahibi Fairbairn from 45 yards to try and get the Texans' first half points. His career long is 55. The kick is up there. It's out there, but off the mark. And that's how it goes for the Texans, trying to end a 6-game slide. But what a half for the Rams. First half stats brought to you by State Farm. In every category, the Rams have dominated. Time of possession on the scoreboard. Stafford, Henderson, Cup, the headliners on offense for the Rams. By Progressive, the numbers in the first half heavily weighted in favor of the Rams, who come in going for their 7th win against just 1 defeat. And the Texans trying to end that 6-game slide, just 1 victory. That happened early. Jerod Johnston, Chris Myers. So let's talk about the Rams, a playoff team a year ago. Mentally tough, mentally, I guess, better than they were last year. Regardless of the opponent, they're doing everything they want to do. All three phases, as you talked about in the open, as Coach McVay stressed to you this week.
Yeah, not just mentally tough, right? Mentally tougher than they were last year. And sometimes that's not about adversity. It's also about handling success. And that's exactly what they've done here in the first half. Yes, they were challenged to come out and play in all three phases from the very, very start. They did that offense, defense, and special teams wise. A few opportunities there early for the Texans to maybe ebb that flow, and when they didn't, they just took advantage of it. And that's what you want to see a good team do. If they are going to be a playoff team that pushes deep into the NFC portion of the playoffs, they've got to be able to handle their business against an opponent like the Texans.
We saw them go twice on fourth down, so are you fine-tuning if you're Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Darrell Henderson? Obviously, this game is pretty safe from a Rams standpoint.
No, you are setting a mindset, and you are showing everybody else around the NFL that you are playing this game very, very aggressively, regardless of the score, regardless of the opponent. This is who we are. This is our style.
Let's check in with Jen Hale.
Well, Chris, David Culley wants to emphasize two things to help Davis Mills this half. First and foremost, get the run game going. Only 11 rushing yards for the Texans in that first half. And McCulley says that's not enough in any situation, especially considering the toughness and the tenacity of this Rams defense. Secondly, Darrell mentioned it earlier, keep Davis moving. Make that pocket a moving target. McCulley feels like they did not do a good job of that first half. He thinks they can have a little bit more success if they do that better this half. And then Jalen Ramsey, Sean McVay tells me he's just fine. A little injury to the left hand after it got landed on by Jordan Akins. He's also been sick this week, but no worries, no reprieve for the Texans there. Jalen's a full go this half, guys.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, Ramsey missed Thursday's practice and some time because of illness. Has played well today. And here's a touchback as Davis Mills will lead the team out. It's tough to run the ball when you've only had it for 10 minutes. I mean, to do anything offensively, and you can see the offensive numbers have really been below standards here. And when you trade away Mark Ingram in the middle of the week and get a 7th-round draft pick as he goes back to the Saints, which is good for him. I know you have more on that, but he's your leading rusher, and you've got that rookie quarterback out there against defensive stars like Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. You're not setting your offense. You're not giving them a great starting point. On the move, and that was nearly intercepted. Ball floated, Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, that left wrist isn't bothering him at all. But one of the things we talk to all these coaches about week in and week out, Chris, is efficiency, offensive efficiency. And David Culley and his group have not been able to establish that today. And it will be challenging for them to run the football. You're talking about a team that during the course of the season, on 5 different occasions, has run the ball for less than 3 yards per carry during the course of that game. How are they going to do that against the Rams?
Scotty Phillips, a rush attempt. You've got David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay. Rex Burkhead is active. Let's talk about the Ingram trade because we saw Brandon Cooks pop off on Twitter. He was really upset about it. And the storyline is that the Saints called not once but twice. First the Texans and Culley said we're not really interested. Then they said, you know, they talked to Ingram and he wanted to go back to New Orleans and they worked it out.
Yeah, and that's the big thing about the culture that David Culley is trying to establish here with the Houston Texans. You know, a situation like that, you want to involve that player. You want to get his input. And after they explained it to Brandon Cooks, he was fine with it. He apologized for the way it was, but that's something that people on the outside don't really get a chance to hear about.
Mills dancing around and he'll be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Leonard Floyd having a Pro Bowl year for the Rams. Now 5.5 sacks this season.
Yeah, and when you put 99 on the same side as 54, it's going to make it really, really hard on that side. So this is Aaron Donald right here, and that's Leonard Floyd outside of him. So with the twist inside, it's a one-on-one situation, and it's the relentlessness of the pass rush as well.
Donald being double-teamed, triple-teamed. Johnston putting it away. Tutu Atwell backing up inside the 20 of the Rams. Slides down, brought down inside the 15. Good special teams play for Tremont Smith and the Texans. And if you want to be entertained by an offense, this one will keep your eyes glued to the set. 24-0, and the Rams are back with the football.
ça se passe, j'ai sur mon lit à bouffer ça en buvant trop mon whisky.
They're nice but irritating.
Sean Payton wanted his team to play at its level, not the level of the competition, after being scared by the Lions last week in LA. And these are the offensive numbers from the 3 stars on a star-studded offense. Darrell Henderson in the backfield after the punt of 59 yards. Robert Woods in motion. Back to Darrell Henderson with another big hole. It's how he started the game, close to another Ram first down, and the offense clicking from the start, Darrell.
They really have, and they came out and they started to run the football, and then that opens up some of the passing lanes. You get Darrell Henderson involved in both phases, but it's all these little windows that there's such a great feel between Matthew Stafford and his wide receiving core, and there's Cooper Kupp, the run after the catch. The run game, to me, was the impressive thing in the first half, and there's another great example of it on that last play, just gashing the Houston Texans on the left side.
Anderson picked up 10, remains in the backfield. That's Robert Woods, gets a block sort of from Kupp, but another Texan is there, and they knock him down. It's Tavierre Thomas, who has started at the other corner with Desmond King out to open this game for the Texans.
And it's about the process that you're going through as a Texans organization to get back to credibility. And you will see some flashes. Lovey's going to see some things from his players during the course of the game on defense, but you got to see more of them. You've got to see it more consistently.
Still picked up 4. Henderson with 90 yards rushing, averaging 7 a carry in this game. Hasn't had a 100-yard game this year. He's been the workhorse with the Cam Akers injury before the season even started. Quick throw to Jefferson, and he can't hold on at the 34-yard line. Terrence Mitchell on the coverage. Jefferson, his emergence really pushed Deshaun Jackson to the background, and again, he did not make the trip. He said he wanted to be traded, and the Rams say, go, you can seek, you have permission to look around. There wasn't a whole lot of interest when the Rams signed him, and they thought his speed would add to it, but there just wasn't a lot of need with Jefferson getting better, Woods and Kupp, and the drafting of Atwell, the tight end position, Henderson out of the backfield. On 3rd and 6, the blitz, and dropped by Robert Woods. He's had a couple of those today, so it is 4th down.
Yeah, that's a big drop right there. It's a little bit on that back shoulder, but he is going to run away and separate right here.
He could have run all the way to Dallas. He'd have held on to that one. It's the first punt for the Rams and Johnny Hekker. Had a lot of long drives in the first half. 70 plus on most of those. Danny Amendola, who's been fired up on the sideline, just frustrated with the performance of this team. And he hauls it in at the 25. Rams lead 24-0. Their defense will be trotted out against the Texans in downtown Houston. It's frightening how, well, just disappointing this offense has been. Last 34 possessions, no touchdowns for the Texans. That adds up to more than 3 games since the Texans last scored a touchdown. Missed a field goal right before the half from 45 yards away. And they're going to get to Davis Mills once again, knocked down at the 22-yard line. And Leonard Floyd involved in that. By the way, Antoine Brooks has come in at the corner spot for Robert Rochelle. The rookie is at the other corner.
You know, let's just give him a little bit here. You know, don't just release to the route. You know, give him a little bump there. You know, cross his face, give your quarterback a chance. You're going out on the route. That ball's not getting thrown because you just passed up the edge rusher, and he's going to sack your quarterback.
Rex Burkhead comes in. Delivers the pass short of the 25. And Amendola hauls that and mentioned the players that have been traded for both of these teams. The trade deadline is Tuesday, and there was already activity. You mentioned Now the Rams traded away Kenny Young, a linebacker, was one of their top tacklers. He went to Denver. He wasn't happy about it. Mark Ingram, top rusher for Houston. He was traded back to the Saints. He was happy about it. Deshaun Jackson right now is unhappy at home, wants to go somewhere else because he's not playing enough. And Deshaun Watson's making over $10 million sitting around. And if something doesn't happen by the Tuesday deadline with all those rumors swirling, then that'll sit for a while, maybe until the offseason of the draft. And there's another sack. Mills goes down, and there's Leonard Floyd again. With a half and a sack there, he's got 7 sacks for the year.
And that's what happens when you've got 99 on the other side. And here comes the blitz. You got Taylor Rapp right here. He's going to come in. He's going to occupy. Get your back on him. But, yeah, Leonard Floyd just coming around that edge. Too quick.
And remember, Sebastian Joseph Day is out injured. Gaines has been there. Day's had a terrific year clogging the middle. Atwell straight up knocked down at the 34 of the Rams after the Johnston punt. We have a flag down.
That's about the only weakness I see with this Rams team right now, Chris. They've got to get the return game figured out because Tutu Atwell does not look comfortable back there fielding the punts. Sometimes they're hitting them. It's loud. It should be a nice, clean catch, and we're not catching him clean. We're not judging that distance right. I know he's new at it, but still, that'd be a concern for me is the return game right now for the Rams.
Yeah, they drafted him high, second round, to do just that. See, Joe T. Camillus, the special teams coordinator, who was frustrated in the first half. That's why they had Cooper Kupp. He returned the first few punts in this game, sure-handed, but that Kupp's busy doing other things. Catching the football. Discussing this penalty flag around midfield after a 58-yard punt.
And I'm telling you, punt returner in the NFL, you're focusing on the football. You know you've got very, very talented, fast, physical athletes bearing down on you. It is a position of courage. It's not easy to find, and when you have a good one, you've got to hold on to them.
You played special teams for what, 9 years in the NFL? Or
yeah. It's an important phase of the game, and Jimmy Johnson put a tremendous emphasis on it.
Both teams on the play. Player out of bounds on a punt, kicking team number 33. During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 39. Those penalties will offset at the previous spot. We'll replay 4th down.
It's a re-kick, so Atwell will get another opportunity. It's Matt Gay, place kicker, talking to him.
It's actually one of the things I talked to Joe DeCamillis on the field before the game, and he brought that up. He goes, I really thought Jimmy Johnson, one of the big contributions he made to the game is he revolutionized how we looked at special teams in that era. You guys had multiple starters on all 4 of your core special teams, and he was with the Giants at the time, and they were flying back to New York, and he talked to head coach Dan Reeves. He came back, he said, what's the difference with Dallas? He goes, Coach, look at their special teams. They've got starters all throughout that core 4. And Jimmy made us all play. We wanted to be strong in special teams, that third phase.
Atwell tracking it at the 30. Runs back and knocked out. Here comes another flag as he got to the 31-yard line. I think the ball may have come out or it was taken away by Burkhead. And Atwell slow. Pointing to his left shoulder. It looked like he fell on the ball, maybe. So after offsetting penalties, a re-kick. Let's take a look at what happened with Atwell.
Ruling on the play was that the runner was down. There is no fumble.
Well, the big thing, he's pointing at his shoulder. He's telling the sideline, hey, get out here. I just did something to my upper arm. And it's actually the left arm, not the one that he had the football in. So you'll watch him right here. He has an injury that he's well aware of, and he wanted the training staff out there as quickly as they could.
Rookie from Louisville being checked on. Tutu Atwell. 9:26 to go here in the third quarter on Halloween with Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers. Jen Hale is down on the field.
Mike Myers?
No relation.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 33. 10-yard penalty, 1st down, Los Angeles.
All right, so after all that, the Rams have the football. Spotted at the 22. And the guy, Sean McVay, said he's a problem solver. Among other things, he manipulates the defense. Stafford leads the way, and Henderson is still in there. Fake to him. Deep for Van Jefferson. Stafford lays it up there, and Jefferson's got it. Inside the 10-yard line of Houston. Big play, Rams. And limping is Jefferson after he hauled it in and went to the ground.
So this is another situation, and it came up against, watch Lonnie Johnson. He's your safety, right? He's your last line of defense. The angle, you've got to understand your angle. What's your opponent? He's backpedaling, he's behind, he's flat, he's over the top. As the deepest safety in this defense, what Lovie Smith runs, that cannot happen. You have to take better angles in those situations and prevent that ball from being completed.
68 yards, and right away Henderson is smothered, knocked down at the 10-yard line. That's Christian Kirksey toughing it out. It looked like if Stafford would have let that go a little further, it would have been a touchdown. He had to slow up for it. And hope he's okay health-wise. Stafford over 260 yards through the air, and they're checking on Van Jefferson. Spotted actually now at the 11 after that last rush attempt. Matthew Stafford, end zone throw, touchdown, Cooper Kupp. That's another Rams score. His first touchdown of the day and the third touchdown pass for Stafford this afternoon.
Well, you put the bunch to the left side, and then you put Cooper Kupp one-on-one to the right side. The really nice thing, they're going to occupy right here as well with the running back or the tight end. You're going to pull that up a little bit, create a little bit more space, and Lonnie Johnson again, angles. In this defense that Lovie Smith puts in, there's a lot of technique. Angles have to be precise, and some poor angles on that drive.
Leading receiver in every category, almost every category coming in. Cooper Kupp, 6 catches over 100 yards and a touchdown. His 10th touchdown reception this season. And the Rams with a 30-0 advantage.
In 2016, I was working at the Amazon warehouse.
With 100 receiving yards or more, 16th in his career. With the extra point after his touchdown grab, it is 31-0 Rams, and those two have quite a connection, Stafford and Kupp.
That was, I mean, not being able to hear the audio, that was great because they're talking head movement and stuff from where he's going with the route. That's crazy.
Absolutely specific conversation here in Houston. Back-to-back homers put the Braves up 3-1. They're going to try for their first World Series championship since 1995, and the Astros hope to bounce back and get the series back here to Houston. Game 5 of the World Series tonight following football on Fox and on the Fox Sports app. And look, you know, it used to be the Texans were going to the playoffs and the Astros were rebuilding, reshaping, and that's the other way around. Astros in their 3rd World Series in the last 5 years, and he's going to go down. The whistle blows. Aaron Donald would not let. You know, Davis Mills is not a little guy. He's 6'4", but Donald just kind of tossed him around like a rag doll.
Well, that's the thing. You can't single block him all game. Right there, that's a single block. And that's going to happen from time to time just because of the defensive look they're going to give you. So Max Sharping's got to know that he's not going to get help from Charlie Heck outside because he's got to block Leonard Floyd.
5th sack of the game for the Rams. Well, that's where you miss a Tyrod Taylor, who Raheem Morris said, hey, defensive coordinator of the Rams. Taylor gives them hope, his mobility, moving around. And looks like we're going to have a timeout. Texans. Now this from Lowe's.
There's a new team in the NFL.
One that plays for home. Everyone's home. Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned pro,
this team has your back. We can help you tackle any project.
We're the Lowe's home team, and anyone can be on it.
Are you in?
Try out for the Lowe's home team today.
Mills on the spot. Mentioned the trade deadline, and Deshaun Watson, and the talks did intensify with Miami. The starting point is 3 number 1 picks, but it's really up to Deshaun Watson. The only team he has allegedly approved he has the no trade to go to is Miami, as Lindsey carries, but the ownership there wants him to settle the lawsuits, the allegations against him, and 22 of those, 10 of them are criminal charges, but they're, through the investigation, have actually been no criminal charges against Deshaun Watson in the meantime.
Yeah, and then the other part, for Stephen Ross to really sign off on this deal, he has to find out what Commissioner Goodell is going to do from a punishment standpoint. And Commissioner Goodell was quoted in saying, we don't think we have the necessary information to place him on the exempt list at this time, and we do not have access to that information, and they don't want to interfere with the process.
On the run is Mills, and a tackle made right away on David Johnson. Let's get a game break with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. Niners trailing 16-9 following an 83-yard reception by Deebo Samuel. Jimmy Garoppolo takes this one for himself from 2 yards out. Extra point, no good. Niners down by 1. Chris?
All right, thank you. In the NFC West, the 49ers as the Rams roll here. And there's a look at the standings after the Cardinals' first loss on Thursday night. And just to wrap up.
The second drive today for the Panthers of 15 plays or more, both, of course, ending with field goals. And the Falcons going back to work on offense. And Mark Sanchez, they would love to see Kyle Pitts get more involved than he.
And Cooper Kupp doing everything, securing the punt after scoring the touchdown. People ready to go trick-or-treating after this. Hope you're enjoying the NFL on Fox. These kids are. The Rams are.
History in a month.
Yeah, it's a yawner for Hulkmania. The Rams up 31-0 here in the third quarter. Under 6 minutes to play. Rams back on offense with Sony Michel, the running back. For Henderson, that's Cooper Kupp in motion. Michel the carry. And a good run stopped by Kirksey. Let's check in on some injuries with Jen.
Well, Chris, good news for the Rams. Van Jefferson has his helmet back on, has been cleared to go back in the game. He is wearing a sleeve on his left leg to cushion that left knee. Meanwhile, Tutu Atwell questionable with a shoulder injury. He's still in the locker room. And guys, keep your eyes on Matt Stafford. Obviously, it is not affecting his performance, but every time he's come out of the game this half, he's put a heating pad on his lower back right side. So something there that he might be managing his way through.
Yeah. He's in his 30s, Jen. That's what happens when you get in your 30s.
Yeah, we do that after the game. That's just called aging.
Chris has got one up here, right over here.
Phone rings, it's an injury for me. I'm like, yeah, I'll get it. Michel carries. We talked about the hundreds, 200 plays of Sean McVay's offense. His assistants through the years, the joke was, hey, you shake hands with him, you move up the ladder. But there's the offensive coordinator, Kevin O'Connell. He's been with some other teams, and I know you're big on him. I think he's a future head coach. He works well, whether it's a young quarterback or an experienced quarterback, and he might be the next guy in line if somebody's looking for an offensive-minded head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago when he was just the quarterbacks coach, and we were kind of talking to Sean McVay about him, and he's like, please don't say anything about him on television, because I'd really like to keep one of my guys around here for a little while.
Guys like Matt LaFleur, Zach Taylor off the staff that have done well, and O'Connell, terrific personality. Just a joy to talk to. His knowledge of the game, the way it relates to players. And there's another outstanding toss and catch. Ben Skoranek, rookie from Notre Dame, the 7th rounder, who may get a little more playing time. In fact, O'Connell was telling us that the guy like him and the rookie tight end Jacob Harris will see more passes thrown their way without Deshaun Jackson part of this rotation.
Yeah, and that's the impressive thing about this. Remember just a few years ago, do we have a true number one? Who's our guy here? There's a lot of fluctuation in that wide receiver room, and to watch Cooper Kupp's career emerge and him become the receiver he is, to watch Robert Woods become the guy that he's becoming, it's very impressive in this offense.
Pickup of 18, Sony Michel the carry, and knockdown Rams with 31 points, so they've scored 20 points or more in every game this year. And that offense clicking with all the parts we showed you, from McVay to Kevin O'Connell to Cooper Kupp and the quarterback. And boy, you talk about a relationship. They've said so many nice things about each other, McVay and Stafford. But they're also friends. I mean, their age is similar. They kind of hang out and talk the same way. And as Stafford said, we see the game the same way.
Yeah, that's the scary thing for anybody playing the Rams, down the stretch, is Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay are seeing it the same way and anticipating each other's calls.
Stafford nearing the 300-yard mark. Reaching for it is Cup, short of the first down, inside the 40 of the Texans, and under 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 7th catch of the game for Cup.
And the other thing about this time in a game, when you're a team like the Houston Texans going through this process of rebuilding and starting over again under David Culley, these are the opportunities for you to get noticed by your coaches in a positive way. These are the types of films that Lovie Smith on the defensive side of the ball, Tim Kelly on the offensive side of the ball, this is where they're going to be watching. Hey, when it was 31-0, how hard was he playing? What kind of effort was he giving?
On 3rd and 2. Stafford flips, catch, breaks a tackle. Skoranek gets the first down. Time for a game break again, and here's Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. Titans trailing 17-14, opening drive, second half. Ryan Tannehill finds Nick Westbrook-Akina for this 5-yard score, giving the Titans their first lead of the day, 21-17.
All right, thank you.
Just another example, Chris, the tackling. We talked about it at the top of this game. When you boil it down, is blocking and tackling, and David Culley's going to be frustrated again with his team's tackling. That's an opportunity to create a 4th down situation. You're going to tackle that for negative yards. The receiver stops, comes back inside, and gets a first down.
Skoranek, a couple of catches. He played in the last 5 games, made his NFL debut week 3. His first career catches today as Sony Michel gets a first down and weaves his way out of bounds at the 20-yard line of the Texans. So that's the way you want to do it with your receivers and running game. Well, I think Rams fans, and I'm sure Darrell Henderson would like to see 100 rush yards. He hadn't seen that this year.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the scary part about this offense. And now I know they're going up against Houston, and they've really struggled against stopping that run. It's one of the big issues among many here. But when you see 3 individual performances outpacing your team as an entire offense, you can tell how frustrating a season it's been for the Texans.
Michel averaging over 5 yards a carry. Henderson averaging over 6 a carry in this game. Sony Michel down to about the 15-yard line. Stafford is over 300 yards passing today with his 3 touchdowns. And the Rams, no turnovers. You know, it's something we talk about, who's fighting hard for the Texans. It's one area that Lovie Smith improved with the Houston team because they had 7 takeaways coming into this game. Last year, the Texans on defense had a total of 3 for the entire year.
Yeah, and you've got to change the whole mindset, the whole style of how they're going to play the game. I mean, to only have 2 interceptions on the back end of your defense. Last season, J.J. Watt had one of the interceptions, so only 2 the entire year last year. He's got to change their mindset.
That's Robert Woods on a pitch from his receiver slot. Woods, and that's a Rams touchdown into the end zone. A fake and a flip, and it's another Rams touchdown.
Yeah, again, this is more of those angles, and you're coming from a 3-4 that plays a lot of man, and now you're going to a 4-man front that plays a lot of zone. Watch 23. He's going to be one of the guys that gets in the middle of that screen. You can pause it right there, over pursues, wash down, but you've got numbers out there. It's 3 versus 3 on that screen.
And with that extra point, 38-0. It's tough to even keep adding all of this up, but easy for the Rams. Another touchdown toss on a little pitch. It's technically a run, so that's the first rushing touchdown for Woods this season to go with his 3 touchdown catches. I like the little casual flip.
Yeah, but I mean, just really well designed. And look at how many players are outside the numbers. You've got 3 players from the Houston Texans that have gotten outside the numbers. I mean, Robert Woods is going back inside, and again, it's tough to make that transition from what they played last season to what Lovie Smith is putting in this season. But the transition, you have to start to see some progress. You've got to see some strides and some growth. And today, you know, just some of these angles, it's been the same old for this Texans defense. And not to take away anything from Matthew Stafford and his group. They've played exceptional today. But yeah, this is another tough afternoon for the Houston Texans.
2 seconds remain before the third quarter wraps up. The Rams came in here 3-0 on the road. Wins at Indianapolis, Seattle, and the Giants. And ready to tack on another one. Still a quarter to play. around the NFL, and we've been fortunate enough to be involved in quite a few of those narrow finishes, last-second field goals, the most through Week 7 in the history of the league. And then you got some lopsided games like we're seeing here now in Week 8.
Yeah, the haves and the have-nots, and unfortunately that's the way the NFL is kind of panning out this season. You've got the teams at the top that are very explosive, and when they get matched up with certain teams in the NFL that are in rebuilds or struggling a little bit, it's not close.
Eagles are up on the winless Lions 38-0. Scotty Phillips, and that'll bring an end to the third quarter. Trick or treat, a lot of treats for the Rams, offensively, defensively. Dominating performance with a quarter to go. It's 38-0 Rams.
The World Series.
Stadium starting the fourth quarter. 38-0 Rams. They've scored, as you can see, in every quarter. Texans trying to get on the board. Quick pass to Scotty Phillips, and he's knocked down right away.
He's had a nice start for picking up for Kenny Young right there. Had the interception in the first half. That's a nice pursuit and a nice hit on Scotty Phillips right there.
Kenny Young deal was strictly financial, economical. It's a business. They all understood it. Nobody liked it, but Rams near that cap. You got to be careful. That's part of how much you go over and what you spend. But Jones has stepped in nicely. Burkhead in the backfield after a 5-yard pickup for Houston.
Hey, lucky 50, lucky
50. Leaping to the 40. And Amendola, they're saying incomplete. He gave it a good shot. It'll be 3rd down and 5. For Mills, who grew up in Atlanta, said he's a Braves fan, but now he's a Houston Astros fan because this is where he lives and works. He said he can't lose in this World Series.
14-18, please.
Texans on their way to their 7th straight loss. And the Rams looking like a top contender in the NFC. Green Bay up there. You know, you talk about the Rodgers Devontae Adams combo. I think this year Stafford and Cup combo, at least numbers-wise for this season, the best there is in the NFL. But a lot of teams. You got Chase and Burrow. There's a lot of great ones out there. Cup is back with the Atwell injury and fair catch on the punt. And these are the top NFC contenders as the Rams are on their way to 7-1. The Thursday win, and boy, that was a wild finish. First loss for the Cardinals in that game, and they're dealing with some injuries. Bucks keep rolling, but the only team to beat Tampa Bay, the Rams. Your Cowboys hope that Dak is healthy enough later today. And this team.
It's a tough group at the top right there. And you look at some of these potential playoff matchups. If the season ended right now, what is it? Dallas would go to the Rams in the.
A lot of fun to watch in the second half of the season. Michelle carries Stafford over on the sideline. John Wolford in his second year from Wake Forest now quarterbacking. So Stafford 54th career 300-yard game, and that's his 5th this season. 3-touchdown performance and leading an offense, by the way. They came out running the ball, and we think of him as a pass first, and you can see why. And there's some Ram fans who made the trip. This is the 20th straight game with 300 yards of offense or more, and that's the longest current streak in the NFL. And they're not done yet. Look at that.
Under 100 yards of total offense. Well, there's your 3 phases. No big mistakes in the kicking game. Really impressive offensively. Very impressive defensively.
And Wolford is sacked, knocked out at the 5-yard line. He had a moment to get rid of it. But one of the top players on that Texan defense, Jonathan Grenard, gets his 7th sack in the last 6 games.
Yeah, and he's just going to get better. You watch right here. Watch the spin move back to the inside. That's pretty impressive right there by Jonathan Grenard. Some good building blocks here for Lovie Smith to work with, especially in the front. We talked about it a little bit. The secondary, he's got some work to do back there. But you look at that D-line and that linebacker level, there's some guys that he can work with there.
After a loss of 8, Wolford's pass bends Skoranek. Flag down.
Pass interference. Offense, number 87. Penalties been declined. 4th down.
Let's get a game break. Check in with Carissa.
Thank you, Chris. Colts trailing 21-17. Carson Wentz finds Jack Doyle wide open. Easy 5-yard score. Wins his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. Best mark for him since 2009. Colts back in front, 24-21. Chris?
Thanks, Carissa. And the Colts need that to keep things tight in the AFC South, or a Tennessee win there would open up a big gap at just the halfway point of number 17 regular season games. 49ers have gone in front of the Bears in their game. Hecker booms it out of there. Smith, fair catch inside the 40. Rams working on a shutout. Their defense has been all over the Texans all afternoon. Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris. You see nothing for the Texans. Last Rams shutout was week 2 in 2018 against the Cardinals. Raheem in his first year at the helm on this defense for McVay and the Rams. As he is caught. Falling forward is Brandon Cooks. Raheem brings a certain energy, the players say, and he talked about mad plays on defense, make a difference plays. That's what MAD, everybody calls them different things, but his guys responded and said it makes everybody feel like they can take part in some way contributing, no matter who the star of the defense is. And they've been terrific today. Mills' pass for a 1st down is Nico Collins.
And a great communicator, too. It was one of the things that Troy Reeder told us. And, you know, during the course of the season, you can get into a funk. You can get out there on a Wednesday on a practice and just not really have the energy that you need. And Raheem's one of those guys that can just get you in a good mood, and he makes the environment just very casual, very friendly, but very stressful, and learning and getting better and better every week. And just remember, this is a guy that took over a defense last season. Number 1 in points, number 1 in pass defense, number 1 in total defense. So you lose a lot of guys. There's been a lot asked of him, and he's done a nice job this season.
They were 7th in points allowed. Nice defensive play there, knocking that pass attempt down. That's Terrell Lewis, the 3rd round rookie from Alabama. Yeah, Raheem, talk about Brandon Staley, who was the defensive coordinator last year for the Rams, is now the head coach of the Chargers. So Raheem, another guy who will probably get interviews and have a chance to be a head coach once again, as he was briefly in Tampa. Won 10 games there when he was back with the Buccaneers.
And did a nice job filling in for Dan Quinn last year as the interim coach for the Falcons down the stretch.
Rex Burkhead, former Patriot, carries. Battling a hip injury coming into the game. Best scoring chance the Texans had was a field goal try. Fairbairn missed from 45 yards away. That was right before the end of the first half. I'll tell you though, David Culley, we saw him talking before the game with Sean McVay, and this is first after nearly 3 decades as an assistant, his first chance as a head coach, and he's got the positive attitude and energy of a young coach. Nice run here by Burkhead. Best run of the day for the Texans, down to the 30 of the Rams.
Yeah, I've always been a Rex Burkhead fan. He's just a straight-out football player. Does a lot of different things. Obviously, we all know him with his career up with the New England Patriots. He's one of those glue guys you have to have. And if you're going to lose a Mark Ingram, I think maybe one of the reasons why David Culley was okay allowing Mark Ingram to have that opportunity with the Saints is because he had a guy like Rex Burkhead behind him.
Picked up 14 on that run, stays in the game. Middle of the field is open. And that's Brandon Cooks again. Came in as the leading receiver for this team. That's only his 3rd catch. And in their best position as an offense to try and score today. 9:40 and counting in this final quarter. Burkhead active for 6 previous games. He missed the reunion with the Patriots back in week 5 with that hip injury. That was the best game that young Davis Mills has played so far this season. Put up good numbers, and they had a chance at pulling off an upset in that game.
I'm interested to see how the Texans play out this possession. If you get down to the point where it's 4th down and it's long, are you going to settle for a field goal to block the shutout, or do you keep playing? Well, David Culley keep playing. I think he's a really great messenger, sending the messages to his teammates of how he's going to build this thing, how he's going to create this culture. I'm interested to see what they do here at the end of this possession.
In trouble. Mills to the sideline, and yes, Chris Moore held on and kept his feet in. The official right there rules it a catch.
We kind of said it with the defense, and what Lovie Smith's going to see are some splashes from time to time. There's a little bit of a splash right there by Davis Mills, extending that play, lots of pressure around him, and then on the move with a nice throw to the sideline.
And a great grab by Chris Moore. Mills underneath. Burkhead fighting down to about the 2-yard line. Took a tough hit, but kept on going.
He's fun to watch.
In his 9th year from Nebraska, Raheem is thinking, why those guys have to bring up the shutout bit and all that? We were cruising along until you had to say something. Hand off inside, and that's a Texans touchdown. Rex Burkhead. It was a Burkhead kind of drive, and the loyal fans that are here in Houston have something to celebrate.
You know, maybe you find a little bit of something right there, because we really haven't seen, you know, an opportunity for Rex Burkhead to be a featured guy on a drive. He did a really good job both running and catching the football on this series.
Some reserve Ram defenders are in there. I'm not trying to take the sails out of this touchdown drive, but I liked the pace, the hurry up with the mixture of Burkhead and the way Davis Mills ran things. And that is the first touchdown for the Texans in 3 games. We showed you that possession chart earlier. The extra point is good. Texans have 7. That's the good news for them. Rams have 38 with just over 8 minutes to play.
That's half the fun of a new house, seeing what people left behind in the attic.
Rookie Davis Mills suffered an interception earlier, but gets the team with Rex Burkhead the touchdown, the first in those 38 possessions on a drive of 60 yards and 10 plays. Took almost 4 minutes.
That coach got to have some camera awareness. He knows we're coming to do a nice little shot at Davis Mills in that situation, putting his back to the camera, covered him up.
I think the coach wanted attention. Cup lets this kick bounce. His kickoff, I should say, and he'll slide at the 11-yard line. Remember, Wolford came in to spell Matthew Stafford because Atwell is hurt. Now, they've used Ben Skoranek on some returns. He's had 4 kickoff returns this year, but I just think they don't want to take any chances, so have Cooper Kupp, the sure-handed guy. But he was way up instead of back at the goal line. I think he just expected a touchback. Like you said, Darryl, no matter what the score, you want your guys who's ever out there or whatever they're doing to stay sharp, as Stafford listening in on the plays. From the 11-yard line. Buddy Howell from Florida Atlantic, who was with, familiar, the Texans for a couple of years, is in as the reserve running back behind Darrell Henderson, who had his 90 yards rushing, and that's it, and then Sony Michel. Well, remember I asked, stats are for losers. That's what most coaches say, and Sean McVay said that. But I said, is there a stat or two? What's your list? If you do look at some after, and the obvious, he said points first, then turnovers. Third one was yards per play, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it kind of shows what we talked about, being efficient, executing. The one thing that Houston has struggled to do, but the Rams have done a really nice job of today is execution in the run game and the pass play. Or pass game. It's almost another interception right there. Terrence Mitchell, nice job jumping that. But it kind of shows you that you're functioning in both phases of your offense, the passing game and the running game, because we always looked at yards per attempt. That way you kind of had a tie-in with the completion percentage. But when you get to yards per play and you look at that number, 7.5, that includes your running too. So that's a really nice day at the office for the Rams.
Yeah, that's a good reference point, because then down the list after that was 3rd and 4th down, how successful you are, you saw there, and then red zone success both offensively and defensively, and they've been terrific in that area as Buddy Howell gets up across the 15 before getting shoved back. And let's check in for another game break with Carissa.
Thank you, Chris. Bears down by 7, 4th and 1. Justin Fields, wait, makes people miss. 22-yard run. He's over 100 yards on the day on the ground. Extra point, no good. San Francisco up by 1.
Wow, what a performance. Scrambling quarterback. And the Bears starting quarterback with Coach Nagy out because of the COVID protocol, calling plays. Somebody else, Bill Lazor, I assume, having to take that over for the Bears. And the 49ers trying to end their losing skid, hanging on to a 1-point advantage. letting the clock run down, and Hecker will kick it away from the Ram 5. Tremont Smith, no fair catch and knocked down right away. Nice special teams play by Nick Scott from that secondary. Well, coming up, America's Game of the Week, Tom Brady and the Bucs go up against Alvin Kamara and the Saints. It's an NFC South showdown. Hey, it'll be fun in New Orleans around Halloween, right? On Halloween night. Some will see. They're always dressed up anyway.
Exactly,
it doesn't matter. Washington, Denver, the other game. It's on Fox, the Fox Sports app. Check local listings for the game in your area.
Well, Saints got them both times in the regular season last year, but in the playoffs, when it counted, it was the Buccaneers, and they got to get that guy rolling, Kamara.
Yep, there's a fan. Went easy on the costume with the Kamara costume, but it's okay. It's a talented player. Phillips is the back after Burkhead worked the last drive and scored the touchdown. Quick toss and tackle. Dante Dion making it. Rams have had, we talked about Raheem Morris in this defense. They had to adjust from David Long, who was a starter at corner earlier in the year, to Robert Rochelle, the rookie from Central Arkansas, who had a knee problem. So he started, but has been taken out of the game. So it's kind of a work in progress still. Parts of that defense also with Ernest Jones, the rookie, settling in.
Yeah, he had a nice game today. Ernest Jones did, and that's a big positive because, as you pointed out, Chris, nobody in that organization wanted to trade Kenny Young, but they just had to from a financially secure standpoint moving forward. But the big thing about this Rams defense is the pressure that they can generate in that front. That ball has to come out a little bit quicker. Really helps those guys on the back end, on the outside, in coverage.
Bills, quick toss. Cooks knocked down right away. And we're just talking about Dion, the free agent, former Giant from Boise State, part of that secondary.
It's good. This is that style of defense that Brandon Staley brought to him that's popular with Vic Fangio and his disciples in that group is, make the offense snap it one more time. We don't want anything cheap over the top. And then you break up and you make the tackles and test the patience of the offense.
Blitz is on.
And he won't be happy with that.
Brandon Cooks, and that's a Texans touchdown. Davis Mills read the Ram blitz and aired it out for Cooks. Pass play of 45 yards for 6.
You just got to be smart and understand what's going on in the game right now. You're way behind, and all right, let's be alert for something tricky. Maybe a double move, an out and up, and yep, there it is. Don't sit on something when you're up 38-7. Play it true. Play it the right way. The offense is going to try something unique in that situation.
Couple of quick touchdowns for the Texans, and Davis Mills, again, even though it's not necessarily prevent, but a more relaxed Ram defense, showing something for Houston Texan fans and this Houston offense. Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers, we thought it might be a mismatch coming in. Rams have done their part. Now the Texans responding somewhat. What has caught your eye today?
Well, kind of things we talked about at the top. The Rams did exactly what Coach McVay challenged them to do. Come out and start this game, play fast, play good in all three phases, and they've done that. As you pointed out, we've got some guys that are backup players right now, these 2 touchdowns. The one thing for three things for the Houston Texans, Coach David Culley told them, we got to cut down on these penalties. They're killing us. We don't have the talent on this roster right now to be able to overcome that. They had some bad penalties again today. The explosive play they did a better job with today. They kept a Rams offense in check. Most of the day they had a couple get over the top. They've got to work on their angles. Some of those techniques that Lovey's still teaching in the secondary. The tackling concerns me, Chris. I mean, it's a fundamental component of the game of football, and we've just seen so many yards that were lost because of poor tackling.
Spider-Man Texan style. It's an onside kick and off the hands, and the Texans have it. Robert Woods had a clear shot at it, and the receiver didn't grab it. And the special team issues for the Rams that started out so poorly against the Lions last week have resurfaced late today. Chris Moore came up with the recovery for Houston at midfield.
Yeah, the guys in the second row, they're the guys who are going to catch it. Front row, come up and block, right? Robert Woods, you got to go get that one. That one is kind of one of those ones that's skipping low on the ground. Those are the ones you got to get to, because eventually they're going to take that Sunday hop right there, and it's going to go up and over your head. So you've got to see the pace on that ball. You've got to attack that onside kick.
Woods has had a couple of drops today. He did have the touchdown run, the 16-yarder, but frustrated. And there's Joe DeCamillis, who is really going to be upset. Van Jefferson looks on as well.
It is not easy to convert an onside kick, and they've had 2 in a row now the last 2 weeks.
Rams have had them converted again. Splits is on. Mills gets away and throws one. What a grab! Going up to get it. Chris Conley. With a Ram defender draped all over him. What a grab.
Some positive things to build on here towards the end of the game. Watch, here comes Dante Dion on the blitz, free to the quarterback. You sense him, feel him, spin out, extend it, then moving to your left, throwing it back across your body, makes a heck of a throw to Chris Conley for the catch.
Underneath, Scotty Phillips.
And let's go back and watch the end of that. There's Chris Conley right there, number 18. Look at how well this ball is thrown. It's perfect right out in front. And an outstanding catch, extended, goes to the ground, completes the process of the catch. Good stuff there by the Texans. Well done, guys.
And Mills told us that he thought his greatest strength was his accuracy coming out of Stanford. And in the NFL, a different adjustment as Phillips is tackled right away. And let's get a game break from Carissa.
Thank you, Chris. Letting you know America's Game of the Week coming up next. Tom Brady, the 6-1 Buccaneers in New Orleans to take on Jameis Winston and the Saints as Jameis makes his first start against his former team. It's all coming up next on America's Game of the Week.
All right, look forward to that. Dak Prescott and that set of receivers. We have bonus coverage coming up, and in the NFC West, the 49ers now have an 8-point lead in Chicago, 6.5 to play in the fourth. Davis Mills, his fourth quarter has found something as Cooks is inside the 10.
Let's hope that Jameis Winston doesn't have those ghosts of Tampa Bay come back to visit him the way that Zach Wilson or Sam Darnold had the ghosts of New York come back and visit him last week when Carolina played the Jets.
And well, you know that voodoo that they do so well down in the French Quarter. Anything can happen on Whiterus, and that dome that the Saints play in. The Saints defense very good this year. And they've added Mark Ingram to their rushing attack with Kamara from the Texans just this week. First and goal, Texans. Can they get another one for the end zone and a little high? Cooks was back there.
And that's something that's coachable right there. You know, for Tim Kelly, the offensive coordinator of the Houston Texans, in that situation, you're drifting back, throwing a ball up for grabs in that situation. You're creating a jump ball scenario. Don't do that. You know, value that possession. You know, you're not going to come back and win the game, but make strides. Put some good stuff on film that shows you understand the entire complexity of the game.
Last few games, this Houston team, they scored 5. They scored 3 before that. 14. Can they get to 20? 21. Mills. Touchdown! Brevin Jordan, the rookie, in his first NFL game. And after going almost 3 full games without scoring a touchdown, the Texans have scored 3 in less than a quarter.
Yeah, nice job. You've got a single high safety. You're going to hit those seams. You're going to go right up the seam. So you've got motion coming across. Right up the seam. Watch the safety. Just holds the safety a little bit. Gets that throw there.
And Brevin Jordan, 6'3" and 245 hit, but held on. Activated today because of the injury to Farrell Brown, backing up Akins and Eau Claire. They're going to try and go for 2 here. And remember, we talked about the Rams being heavy favorites in this game. A 2-point conversion would tighten things a bit and make some people agitated. Mills has it, and he's in for 2. 38-22 with 2.5 to go. Who expected this after the first 3 quarters of football? And we were crowning the Rams.
Again, just very decisive by Davis Mills. Watch, he's going to roll out with the idea to throw, and he changes it right there. Now I'm just taking it in. I've got a little bit of a landing. I'm going to be able to get that in there on my own. So just very decisive in that situation to get in there and get that touchdown.
22 points in just over 5.5 minutes for the Texans.
0 points in 200 minutes, and now
that
22 and 5.
Maybe they took him out a little too early. As the Ram offense, those quick 3 and outs. But you know that happens on the other sideline. Okay, maybe
without a doubt.
Yeah, don't do that to us. Maybe we're not winning the game, but don't you do that to us. That image of there's Wolford who stepped in.
Well, at least the Rams get to work on their onside kick in a live situation here.
And they spent extra time on that on Thursday of this week after the special teams miscues against the Lions. The winless Lions.
Oh, they got it.
It touched a Ram, but I think the Rams are on it. Didn't travel 10 yards, but if the Rams get possession, it was Higbee who had landed on, I believe.
Well, I thought Troy Reeder had hit Troy Reeder, so it's got to go 10 yards before the Houston Texans can touch it. But if somebody from the Rams, it's a live ball.
That's the flag to see the Rams can just decline it and take the football.
Kicking team number 20. 5-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
Okay,
how fitting is that?
That is going to drive David Culley crazy. It is the first rule, onside kick. You will say it in the huddle. Don't be offsides. Don't be offsides. Everybody stay on sides. So watch up at the top of your screen. Oh, you know what? I don't.
Well, it doesn't matter because the Rams got the football.
No, well, that's the whole thing. Watch, this ball's going to hit 51 Troy Reeder. Right there. That's a live ball. Okay, Rams got it. I did not see I didn't know Higbee got it.
Yeah,
I thought the Houston Texans got on that one.
Yeah, you can't leave early. It's not just a matter of crossing the line. Rules analyst Mike Pereira.
The rules have changed so much when I played. When I played, you could be 10 yards back. You could hit that line on a dead run.
Well, they made it interesting as Buddy Howell carries. Texans still have 2 timeouts to try and dent the scoreboard even more, and they're going to use one of them right now.
Houston.
If there's time, bonus coverage of the 49ers and Bears, but you want to be here all afternoon for the game of the week, America's game of the week, and NFL coverage and updates throughout the day and into the World Series. And yeah, things tightened up for Davis Mills.
He's made some plays. He's had some time. He's created some time on his own with some good decisions. But yeah, that's a nice couple of series for this Texans offense.
Well, his best game, I mentioned it was here, Week 5 against the Patriots. He threw for 312 yards and had 3 touchdowns. But it hadn't been much since, and they got 3 in a short span here. Well, the Rams eased up, and there should be a penalty right there.
Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, that Patriot game, that was one of those ones where you watch that game on film and you can understand how challenging it is for David Culley going through this transition because they found a way to lose that game. I mean, they were up 22-9 with a little over 10 minutes to go in that game. Complete control, playing aggressive, and they found a way to lose it at the end.
This is Howell carrying and should get us, unless they use another timeout. We'll see how the Texans play it. They will use their last. We'll still have the 2-minute warning. Well, how do you
third and final time out of the half?
How do you measure, if you're David Culley, the progress of your team at this point?
The one thing that we never get to see, we get to see the finished product on a weekly basis. Every Sunday, every Monday night, every Thursday night, we get to see the game. We don't get to see the work that's being done at the facility at practice. We don't get to see the progress there. And that's where the inches become feet, become yards in the progress. What we get to see is them coming out on Sundays on game day and playing against, a lot of times, a team that's superior to them talent-wise. And there's other things that they're looking for in that situation. Lovie Smith and David Culley will be looking for effort through this whole second half when the Rams were way out in front. And how did their guys respond? How did they play?
Well, they saw a lot from the offense, and the defense trying to do that as Howell is brought down short of the 36-yard line. Rams will let this run to the 2-minute warning, and they'll kick it away. It was 38-0 here in the fourth quarter. The Rams resting Matthew Stafford, but Davis Mills and the Texan offense woke up. 38-22 with 2 minutes to play. Those fans in Houston of all ages that hung around and dressed up for Halloween, rewarded with 22 points. That's the best, equaling the best point total since that Patriot game, and second best this year by the hometown Texans. Rams in control of it, though, with 2 minutes to go, and Houston out of timeout. So Hecker try and drop this inside the 10. High kick. Hits, and the Rams play it perfectly. Down around the 2-yard line, where the Texans will take over on offense. We showed you earlier the Rams. We said this is kind of of course, they have the Titans, who are tough right now, tied with the Colts, the 49ers, the bye, but then Green Bay, Jacksonville. But the last few games, at Minnesota, at Baltimore, and then a division opponent.
Yeah, and let's not look past that Arizona game, the matchup, the only game they've lost so far this season. So, they've got a pretty difficult schedule down the stretch. You get some of you guys that are nicked up right now, get them healthy, get them ready to go. This is going to be fun down the stretch with the NFC. I mean, there's a ton of good teams that are talented in that NFC conference.
Right now, the Packers with the top seed. Bucs can get there as well, but the Rams beat the Bucs. Burkhead back in, stays in bounds, which hurts. See if the Texans can tighten this up just a little bit more. And bonus coverage, 49ers now with an 8-point lead. It's going to be Garoppolo going back home to his home area roots in the Midwest. Mills open. It's the tight end again, the rookie Brevin Jordan. Mills with 2 touchdown passes in this game. Pickup of 23 there. Protected well, incomplete, led the receiver a little too much. It was Jordan, and let's check in again with Carissa.
Well, Myers, you mentioned this game. This is how it happened. Garoppolo showing off in front of that hometown, getting it done with his legs from 5 yards out. His second rushing touchdown of the day. His team is up by 8. They're in the red zone again. Time permitting, we'll get you out here.
All right, thank you. Nice little segue there. Mills, wide open short. Knocked down at the 36 is Jordan Akins. Mills over 270 yards through the air. Much of that coming in this final quarter when the Texans put up all 22 of their points. Low snap, handled. Plenty of time. And a one-handed grab by Burkhead. Clock running. You maybe just hope for something big, a sideline or a Hail Mary.
But again, right there, I mean, he was getting ready to escape to his left. He fought that urge, stayed in the pocket, made a nice throw to Rex Burkhead.
He can throw on the run, and it's caught! And at the 35, Akins pushes it down to the 25 of the Rams. They're going to need to spike it. Clock running. No timeouts.
Get that legal formation. Hustle, hustle.
4 seconds, 3 seconds. It's a snap with 2. Thrown to the corner of the end zone and out of the end zone. That'll do it.
I don't know. See, that's something that you're going to have to talk to him about. I would have rather seen them clock that football right there and then come back in and get a good play. Not sure why they continued to play at that 2-minute pace, but stuff to work on, stuff to grow, stuff to get better the next time you play.
Texans 7 straight losses, 1-7. They'll play at Miami for that trade deadline Tuesday. Sean McVay keeps that halftime record intact, undefeated. The Rams go to 7-1. The State Farm Studio Show is coming right up.
Welcome to the State Farm.